Hi everyone, Marisa Stone here with Simon Says Social and the Systems Lounge, and I want to welcome you today to the 2018 Premier International Women's Business Systems Virtual Summit, where you get to learn all about the systems that our speakers are using to get things done. And I am super stoked to have Lora Stoyanova here today. She is going to be talking with us all about systemizing your business with what she calls a 5-step foolproof plan. Now, let me tell you a little bit about Lora. Lora helps six-figure entrepreneurs with service-based businesses to really streamline these inefficient processes that they have going on so that they can grow their business, work less, have more freedom, and have more flexibility in their lives. Now, how many of us want that, right? Her love for these efficient operations started while she was a lead at a global community of over 2,000 social entrepreneurs at a place called Starting Block, where she created these consistent systems and processes to attract, onboard, and engage entrepreneurs, all while training remote teams, which was really cool. She applies this work that she did daily, and she really gets in there and helps these early stage companies and entrepreneurs to truly streamline their business operations so that they can grow out these teams for success and scale their markets into different cities. As a result, her clients have often reached a 90% customer acquisition. That's awesome. And she's also been able to scale operations for those companies internationally, from New York to Bali to Miami and all kinds of other global locations. Some of her clients include Pure House and Rome, both of which are startups in the communal living space working to disrupt traditional real estate models. And that's also an amazing opportunity there. Lora actually supports her clients with creation and implementation of what she calls replicable systems, super important term there, guys, and processes to help run and scale their business operations consistently so they can level up their businesses. Lora, it is so wonderful to have you here today. Thank you so much for being on the summit.
Yeah, thank you so much for the lovely introduction. I mean, how do I follow this?
You're going to do amazing. So let's just begin at the beginning. What do you mean when you're talking about a foolproof plan?
Yes, and that's a great question. So one of the many reasons why clients reach out to me is that they are overwhelmed, and it's really hard for them to find those additional 24 hours a day to manage everything that they need to handle as entrepreneurs and business owners, especially when you start growing, right? And for that reason, running their business operations in a more simplified, in a more streamlined way with systems is actually a challenge for them. And because they're already overwhelmed, they already have to put out fires, they're already burned out.
Yes.
They honestly don't have the time, they don't have the energy, and honestly, they don't have the desire and sometimes the expertise to systemize and simplify their business operations. So what happens is that they don't know where to begin, what to do next, and they don't know how to basically execute. And this is where a plan, a step-by-step mapped out plan really helps them. It's all mapped out for them, and everything is actually intentionally simplified because my clients are already overwhelmed by all of the complexity in their business. And for that reason, I use what I call the KISS principle in my plan to systemize their operations. Basically, that's keep it stupid simple.
Yes, and I love that. I love that because we can really get all of these crazy complicated plans put together, and then we try to implement everything and it just never ever works properly. So you mentioned that this helps you to systemize our business. What does it truly mean to systemize our business? And I think you and I are both totally on the same page and going to geek out on this one.
Yes, absolutely. We are both on the same page, but let me tell you that a lot of times when I use the word systems or systemizing, people just look at me and they roll their eyes and they have no idea what it is. I'm really actually happy that you're asking this question. Well, systemizing your business is basically creating, leveraging, and later on refining business systems that actually allow you to deliver your promise that you have made to your audience, whether that's a product or a service, whatever that outcome is, to do it in a consistent, efficient, and effective way, while also leveraging your time and your talent better. So basically, any systematic approach of how you handle time-consuming, repetitive, manual work in your business is a system. For
Yeah.
example, everybody has a marketing system, how you attract your ideal clients or customers. Everybody should have some sort of a sales system, how you enroll those people to become your clients or customers. Most people should have what I call a people system, which is basically all of your HR processes of how you attract, hire, onboard, and engage teams of top performers.
Yeah.
A delivery system, which is basically how you deliver your value to your audience. Other systems that I can give as examples are your financial system, how you basically manage all of your financials. And another system that I really like is what I call time leverage system. So these are all systematic approaches of how we handle repetitive, time-consuming work in a more consistent and strategic way.
Yeah, and that makes so much sense. So let's apply this to entrepreneurship for a minute, because one of the things that I know about entrepreneurs is, oftentimes they're coming out of some sort of corporate place where all of these systems are already in place for them. And now they are all of a sudden in the middle of their own business and they don't have all these systems and they have to build them from the ground up. So why should they be concerned with systemizing their business with this foolproof plan from the very beginning?
Right. Well, first of all, as you mentioned, for a lot of folks who start their own businesses coming out of a 9-to-5 job or out of the corporate world, they come from an environment where those systems are already in place, regardless of how efficient or not they are.
Right.
In place. And now they are basically the CEO of their business, and they have to put all of these systems in place. The thing is that we all start businesses to, at least in my opinion, to solve big challenges, to create positive impact on the world. And some of us, maybe we want to leave a legacy. Of course, all of us want to make money and enjoy a lifestyle of more freedom, of more flexibility, right?
Right.
These are all huge responsibilities that we all undertake as entrepreneurs and as business owners. And frankly, we all have limited attention span, we have limited energy, we have limited time, and all of us, we have a much bigger fish to fry, right? So as entrepreneurs and as business owners, we should focus on high-level strategic work so that we can actually achieve that vision that we have. And we have to focus on the big picture. We have to be the leaders of our companies. And we also have to deliver this amazing promise that we have made to our audience. We have to delight our customers. And we also want to eventually build a team of top performers who can support us in our efforts to grow. And realistically, to do all of that without actually compromising on your well-being, on your relationships with your family and friends, and without compromising on your bigger business vision, we have to use systematic approaches to how we actually handle day-to-day work, especially work that is time-consuming and repetitive. And this is why entrepreneurs and business owners need to start putting systems and processes in place so that their business is run by systems, not by them. Right?
And that makes so much sense. One of the things that you've actually done for your clients is worked with them to scale to multiple locations. And you said that you've even done this within a 60-day period.
Yes.
How in the world did that work?
Well, I didn't know that was possible either. So in 2015, Rome, one of my former clients, which is a global co-living community, and as you mentioned in your introduction, it's an early stage startup company that tries to disrupt traditional real estate models. When they approached me in 2015, they had this big vision to become a global co-living. And part of having a vision of becoming a global company is you have to be in different locations to be global, right?
Right.
But when they approached me at the end of 2015, they were only based in New York City. And at that time, they had no process in place for basically onboarding new locations, training new local staff at the different locations, welcoming customers at each location. And of course, they didn't have any processes or systems in place
Right.
of doing their HR and financials so that they can run as a company properly as well.
Yeah.
So when they approached me to help them, I basically put systems and processes in place that were replicable so that they don't have to recreate the wheel every time they onboard a new property, because more or less the standards and the checklists are the same. And within 60 days, we opened the first location in Bali, Indonesia, while I was doing most of that work here from New York City. I'm based in New York. And then within another 60 days or so, we opened their second location in Miami, Florida. And while we did all of that, I also worked on putting some systems and processes in place of how we should train local teams and how we should also welcome customers and some of the HR processes as well.
Wow, that sounds amazing. And the thing that I love about that entire story is you utilize the power of systems to make that happen. If those systems had not been put in place, those those global expansions could not have happened. And so I love that. So another thing that you work with clients on is what you say that the real reason why mechanical systems, processes, tools, automations, time management, and productivity alone are the exact wrong ways to simplify your business operations. Okay, wait a minute. That's a little backwards to what most people think. So give me a little bit of information about what we're talking about. Why are all those things the wrong way to simplify my business?
Right. So what I have noticed is that in the industry, business systems have been traditionally presented in very rigid and mechanical ways.
That is true.
And I think that misses the point that no matter how good your business system might be, if it's not implemented, then it becomes stale and eventually it becomes useless, right?
Yep.
So one way to encourage implementation is to motivate your team and to get their buy-in. And to do that, you have to incorporate their habits, your organizational culture into the type of systems that you actually design and the type of tools that you select for your automations. If you don't, you frankly cannot force systems and automations on people who are not motivated to use them. And for this reason, this approach doesn't quite work.
Yeah.
And I see so many entrepreneurs struggling exactly with implementation and with getting buy-in from their team.
Yeah.
They have all of these systems and processes in place. They have the fanciest tools, and systems and processes are important. Of course, tools are important, but they only enhance our work.
Right.
They should not completely replace who we are as humans, how we work together, and they cannot replace the importance of organizational culture as well.
And that totally makes sense. I think that it's important for people to recognize, I'm a firm believer in the very best system for you is the one you're going to use. And I agree. I see entrepreneurs all the time buying the best platform or whatever it is in the market, and then never using, like they barely use 5% of the system, but they're paying a premium for that system. It's like, wait a minute, let's take this thing inward and figure out what's really going on and how you can apply the right one so that you can get the job done. So, wow, I know that this has been a ton of information that you've been sharing, and we are coming to the end of this interview, and I don't feel like we've been talking near long enough. Is there anything else that we need to know right now before we take our much deeper dive in the next interview about systemizing our business with this 5-step foolproof plan?
Yeah, well, I know that we will dig a little bit deeper, so I would like to leave all of the details for the upcoming interview. But just one point, I guess, that I want to make is that the one thing that I can quickly mention is that there are actually 4 elements that are key in any business. I will share them in the order that they actually work, and that ties a little bit more into why I believe that systems and automations are not just the only thing that you need to streamline your business operations, and that you cannot focus only on tactical work. So those 4 elements are mindset, game plan, your skills or execution, and the tools. And I share them in the order of importance. So some people might be surprised that tools are the last.
The last,
They're
yeah.
very important, but they are not the most important
Yeah.
aspect when it comes to simplifying and streamlining your business operations. And again, we can talk a little bit more about that in the upcoming session as well.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. That's amazing. And I love the way that you really broke that down and helped people to understand that tools are really the last thing you should look at. Yes, I do tools. Yes, I do systems. Yes, these are important to me. But you've got to get all of the other pieces in place before you choose the tool. So I love that you broke it down like that. So before we let you go, how can people reach out to you if they want to pick your brain a little bit more about systemizing their business in this five-step foolproof plan, or if they want to access some of your resources or perhaps work with you to help take their company global? How can they reach out to you?
Sure. So the easiest way is to simply send me an email, and I'm assuming that that will be shared as well. But
Yep.
it's Lora, which is spelled a little bit different, Lora, at lorastoyanova.com. And another platform where I actually share a lot about some of the topics that we are discussing here is LinkedIn. I'm quite active on LinkedIn, so they can easily find me, again, simply by searching with Lora Stoyanova, and they will see some of my resources that I share on LinkedIn as well. So those are 2 very quick ways for people to connect with me.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for all you've shared here today. Guys, click on the links below and definitely take advantage of some of the resources that Lora is sharing with you today. And if you are really struggling to systemize your business or figure out your plan or get things together so that you can scale your business up, you definitely want to click on the button below and access Lora's advanced session. That is the much deeper dive that we are taking with Lora in just a few moments, and that button is below. But in order to access that, you're going to have to upgrade to your All Access Pass. There's another button below that will allow you to do that. It will take you to the page where you can snag that All Access Pass, and not only do you get all these live sessions that you are watching right now, but you get lifetime access to every single one of these deeper dives that I'm taking with every single one of our speakers, and you do not want to miss that one. Lora, thank you so much for all you've shared here today. And guys, we will see you inside the All Access Pass. Bye, everyone.